Sustainability by recycling. Wow. Karen, I wish you'd tell us more about this, but okay. Interior designer, we promote waste to sustainability by recycling waste cut tires to interior design work. Wow. Wow. I hope, Susie, you'll kindly share the WhatsApp link so that members can join after, so that you can share some of those works. I think some of these interior, we have to see. They must be very beautiful, turning the car tires into interior works. So thank you so much. Allow me to kickstart this session. You are almost welcome. This is our very first masterclass of the year at Imuka Access. We are your business growth partner. We are very intentional about walking the entrepreneur journey with all of you to ensure that you grow these businesses outside your area of operation. Open as many branches as possible, not in Uganda, outside Uganda, and even in Africa. Sophie, you're welcome. You're a marketer. Awesome. Maybe you'll give us some tips on how to market our businesses. So today, we want to do business goal setting. Why is this important? You know, they say if you don't have a goal or a vision, any road will take you anywhere. So it's very important to set the goal at the beginning of the year. I've seen so many people setting vision boards, personal goals, all these things, but we have to put in the same effort also in our businesses to set these goals that are smart. We all know that, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound, and that will help to propel the business forward. So why are we doing this masterclass at this point? We want you to focus. Dream big, paint that big picture, that big vision, and then write it out, and furthermore, break it down. I still remember the day Daniel visited us at Imuka Access, and the first thing he told us, he wanted to see our chart, our board of our targets for the year. And we showed it to him, and he kept asking us, from this, how much are you making per month? How much per week? How much per day? So you have to keep breaking down that big vision into from a year to months to weeks to days, so that you know per day how much you should be making or how many customers you should be reaching to achieve that bigger goal. So the focus is very, very important, and I know Daniel is going to share much more about that. The second thing we want you to learn today is to measure your progress. When you have goals, it's like you have a yardstick. You have something that will tell you if you should be celebrating or you should be doubling your efforts to reach where you want to go. And numbers do not lie. Be very clear on your measurements. Use numbers. Don't just say words. I belong to the 5 a.m. club, and they're always challenging me. I remember I shared with them at the end of the year a project that I was working on, and I told them I want to open in January. And the first thing they asked me is, which date? Give us the date, the specific date when you're going to open. And it kind of took me back. I was like, hey, I've not thought of the exact date, because trust you me, once you set the date, it will put that pressure on you. You will not rest, because you see the date coming closer and you push yourself to achieve faster. So when you're measuring progress, be very deliberate, set clear numbers, be very exact. So it helps you to know whether you should celebrate that milestone or lagging behind. You need to double your efforts. And celebrate, even if it's 1,000 followers on Twitter, celebrate your milestones, because they are going to compound into that vision that you have set. The other thing we want you to get today is motivation. Yes, motivation. The business is not easy. Sometimes things are hard, things are difficult, but if you've set your goals, you've written them down, it's clear, everything is clear. You keep looking at it and reminding yourself why you are in this business so that you do not close tomorrow because things are hard. No, instead, maybe you become dynamic, you pivot and try something else. Maybe a certain marketing strategy is not working out. You try something else, but you do not give up on your vision, on your business. You can even join like-minded groups. These days, technology has made it very easy. There are groups for everything. There are groups for mushroom growers, there are groups for bakers, there are groups for everything. So don't struggle in business together. And even as Imuka Access, we have a group specifically for entrepreneurs where we support them and we handhold them. Just last week, someone reached out to me. She's doing poultry. And she was telling me, I'm struggling, I'm spending 7 million per week on chicken feeds, and it's just eating up everything. It's not making business sense. So we had to move out and look out for who can help her. And we found an animal scientist who is now walking the journey with her and showing her how to regulate and use different kinds of feeds and mix both the imported ones and the ones here so that she can manage that budget and bring it down to something that will help her make profits and not just spend. So at Imuka Access, we are very intentional, and that's why we want all of you to join. The WhatsApp link will be shared. Feel free to join, and we shall walk this journey with you. So today, if you have been demotivated, you're going to get your motivation up because this is possible and businesses can grow as big as you want them to grow. The other thing is, we want you to stay ahead. Once you set goals, you're going to be ahead of the game. You're going to be ahead of your competitors because you have a clear, smart strategy in hand. You are better than the person who is out there just guessworking, hustling and bustling all over the place with no direction. You who has a clear goal, you get there faster than that person. And the last thing I want to emphasize is technology. Let us use technology to stay organized in our businesses. There are so many tools. There's AI right now. You can do so much, even when you're alone in your business. You can do so much with AI. You can do your marketing, you can do everything else. There's Trello, there's Zoho, there's so many things. And also something that we are working on right now is Imuka business tools. For business, we want to provide those tools that can help you track your money very easily, do your accountability sheets very easily, handle your finances in an organized and very simple manner. We shall be sharing that later on or in our WhatsApp group. So let's use technology. We're in a tech era. Let us embrace technology for our businesses to achieve their goals. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is why we are having this business goal setting masterclass today, and that is what we want to achieve at the end of it. So, without further ado, with those few remarks, I hope I'm being heard. I hope I'm not talking to myself. Can someone say hello if you're hearing me?
It's up to you to write which one you think.
Am I loud and clear? Awesome. So I want to introduce our guest. This person is very special to us. He is very special to us. He is our board member, and he has shared with us a lot. When he speaks, you go back and start re-strategizing, and he makes you think deeper. And we thought, who better to share with you as we start the year so that you go back and
So,
put
which
everything
church house?
in order. I want us to meet Mr. Daniel Komunda. This is his bio for those who do not know him. He's a marketing maestro. He has a knack for making brands shine. brighter than the sunset. He has over 20 years of experience in marketing and sales. Daniel has mastered the art of concocting the perfect recipe for success. He has the magic touch, by the way. He has propelled numerous brands to stardom across various industries, from telecommunications, where he is right now with MultiChoice, to beverages like Jibu Water. I believe we all have Jibu Water in our offices. Daniel Komunda was behind that project, and you can see it's all over Uganda right now. It's being used everywhere, and even pay TV. Daniel is a marketing guru. He has his superpowers. He crafts marketing, sales, and operational plans that work. No tricks involved. Simple things that work. Simple strategies. He will give you simple strategies that actually work. He also conjures up branding, advertising, and PR campaigns that leave a lasting impression. Like I said, we all know Jibu Water. That is the man behind Jibu Water. And now MultiChoice, who doesn't know? That is the person behind it. He also leverages his incredible communication skills to influence stakeholders and turn ideas into tangible results. So even if you're here and you're still at idea stage, you don't have a physical business yet, feel free to share. That's why I told you, put your businesses, what you do, put them in the chat section so that he knows exactly how to help you, even if you're in idea stage. But Daniel is not just about work and no play. Daniel is very passionate about empowering young people to discover their potential and thrive. He is a proud board member of Imuka Access, and we are very honored to have him, by the way. He's also a board member of Bless a Child Foundation, because giving back to community is his superpower. So if you're looking for a marketing expert with a heart of gold and a dash of humor, when he talks, you'll start laughing, but he's talking serious things, and a whole lot of experience, Mr. Daniel Komunda Mwesije is your guy, and we have him here today, ladies and gentlemen, to talk to us. So please join me to welcome Mr. Daniel Komunda to take us through today's Business Goal Masterclass. Thank you so much. Daniel, you are most welcome. Thank you so much for making the time to talk to us. We cannot wait.
Thank you very much, Gloria. At some point I was wondering if it's me they were talking about. So I will put my screen up. Let me know if you can see if I'm visible.
You are on for a bit and you okay, now we can see you.
Yeah, sometimes
yes.
I'm a bit dark skinned, so this I need some light to help provide some my life. So everyone, I'm super excited to be here. I'm super excited to share. I think the key word here is share. Sometimes when Gloria was speaking, I was like, is that me? Is that me? So I think I'm excited to have been a part of many brands, right? For such a long time. And what drives me is seeing probably something that maybe could have been insignificant, right? Being part of making it reality. And reality from this perspective is you build a brand, you put it out there, people buy it, and the company you work for makes money. And I believe that's why we're all here, right? It's we all want to make money at the end of the day. Let's not say we are here for CSR. We want to be nice to the world. That's good. At the end of the day, we want to make money. Today is 23rd January. Surely by 23rd of December, we need to be counting some serious money, right? In our banks and in our pockets. And so today is going to be a discussion, right? So we're going to try and engage as much as possible just to see how far we get. But again, for me, it's going to be very interactive. So quickly, what this is going to be a, how do I look at it? You've heard of the famous saying, failing to plan is planning to fail, right? And if we don't have a plan for starters, that's the beginning of failure. We may succeed, but it will not be complete. But also, if it's not written down, it's really watered down the drain. So I'm going to do my best to guide. I think that's the key word, to guide this conversation. And in it, I hope we can interact a bit more and be in a good space to sort of have an understanding of the things we need to do, the roadmap we need to take, and we'll have a workaround. We'll work through a business plan. So I'm going to share my screen. Allow me just to kill my video for now. Yeah, I'm sure what you want to see on the presentation is better than what you're seeing now. So not to worry. Let me just share that shortly. Okay. Let me know you can see my screen.
Yes,
Just a thumbs up, so I know
yes.
I'm not alone.
We can see the screen.
You know, sometimes I fear for radio presenters. You're talking, and you're hoping people are listening to you. So my prayer and hope is that even as I'm talking, people are not going to TikTok and other things. I promise I'll try not to bore you. So for me, this is just the way I'm looking at it, right? Business planning. We want to turn all these ideas. I'm super excited by the things we've got going with each of us. Everyone's doing something different, and for me, I'm excited that I'm in the presence of people who are thinking, who are doing, and who are entrepreneurial. And it doesn't matter what stage you're at now, right? Everyone started somewhere, and if we live today, my wish list is that we live with a takeout that we've decided that, you know what, let me have a step, let me move a step in the right direction. Okay, so all of us have got great ideas. I want to do this, I'm doing this, I'm thinking this, I'm thinking this. Some of them have started, but your reality is not yet there. Or maybe you feel you're stuck at some point. How do you make it to the next step? How do you bring this dream into reality? When we see brands, let me use local brands like CJ's. I've been on Earth for some years, so I was there when there was no CJ's. Some of you could have just been born with CJ's. So seeing that brand, and I want to use it as a local brand because it's moved and grown by leaps and bounds. If I use Sam's, the crisps, right? It's in every place. We know it. We like the taste. We see it. It wasn't there a couple of years ago. I'm sure that same person had an idea and moved it into reality. Okay, so quickly, guys, whether we like it or not, everything needs a plan. Gloria alluded to the fact that we plan for our families, we plan for our kids, we plan for all these other things. We plan for our academics. You know that if I have to pass this exam, I'm going to study every day from midnight to morning, right? So there's like an idea of a plan. The idea of a plan, to be honest, is provide clarity for what you want to do. Right now, if I asked you how many ideas you have, you can even put them in the chat. All of us have got like 16 dreams. I want to do a car wash. I want to do a restaurant. I want to do makeup. I want to do bags. I want to do shoes. I want to build aeroplanes, right? But we can't do all that. Agreed? So it's important that we get clarity of the business idea and the goals. If you don't have clarity, we'll end up, it's like a touch and go. You start something, drop it. Start the next thing, drop it. Start the next thing, drop it. Now, that's what we would like to be able to avoid. We need to identify our target market and competition. I'll speak more into this. But I'm telling you for free, if your target market is not clear, you are going to cast your net far and wide. So for example, let me use, what, give me a product kids use. What's the product you buy for kids? Someone in the chat. Yeah, is that? Yes, sweets. Exactly. Lato milk. So think about it this way. You have your nice idea of sweets, but then we believe they're for kids. But where you're targeting, you are spend time on campus selling sweets to campusers, and all your money, all your time, you're moving from hostel to hostel, marketing to campusers. Obviously, you'll miss the mark. So it's important that we have the right target audience. Then your financial projections. Now, okay, you want to get to X amount of money. What is the money? What are the monies are involved? So one of the things we failed to do is figure out, okay, if I want to start this business, how much capital do I need? And capital and how much cash do I need? You know, we are saying tujakulaba. I'll keep using Luganda. It's not my first language, but we shall see. You know, we are hopeful, which is good as young people, but we shall see does not get us there. If there's no actual numbers, we're going to struggle. Your funding needs, where's the money coming from? It cannot be that we shall see. Are you going to take a loan? Are you going to borrow from your mom, from your dad? Where's the money coming from? It then helps you, because if the financial funding needs are not adequate, you may need to rework your projections. A business plan helps you measure progress and make adjustments, right? You know that, okay, at this point, this is not going to work. I'm going to do this. I'll make this adjustment. And I know, okay, here, this business is not working. I have given it my all. I need to pivot to something else. And then, of course, as part of the things we do at Imuka Access, we help you develop plans and get funding. If you want to get funding and investors into your business, without a plan, I promise you, no one is going to want to even give you attention. I don't want to miss something in the chat if there's some information there. Welcome, Atovo. Okay, cool.
No worries. We shall be responding to the chat.
Okay, cool.
Messages.
So we're going to go through this exercise, but I just wanted to indicate these things that I promise if you've been doing a plan without these 8, so let me tell you this, on the internet, that's what I like about the internet. There's so much information. The question is, are you looking for it or not? Are you testing it out or not? Without a business mission, one of the things we want to go through is define your business mission and vision. We'll conduct market research and analysis. We'll develop. Okay, so let me put it this way. So until you have your mission and vision, that's the first place. Why are you there? Why are you even doing it? Okay, market research and analysis. Are you going to go, for example, I want to start making daddies and selling them to schools. Am I the only one? Is it very, I could come and I'm the 100th person to try and sell. Your unique value proposition. Why? So for example, I'll keep using examples here. The name. So for example, why, my friend Emodek is here, pressure. Okay, so why your product and why not the next person's product? Why your daddies and why not the other person's daddies? Super important to know. A business model canvas, I'll show you what that looks like. What are your projects? We've talked about financial projections and funding. What's your marketing and sales strategy? Is it going to be, if I say marketing, are you going to go TikTok? Are you going to go flyers? Are you going to go door to door? Are you going to have set up your car shop like at the corner where there's traffic for everyone? That's also important to know and to understand. And then, of course, you need to have a team. And then, obviously, for everything that you set up to do, you review and revise the plan regularly. Okay. Are we good so far? All right. So we've talked about your market. And I think for me, this is just, I just want to pull out all this as things for you to take note of. Who's your audience, right? It's super important to understand your target audience. When in marketing, we have this risk of saying, I'm going to spray and pray. Sometimes I'll do maybe a radio ad for my products, right? But how many people actually listen to my radio ad? What time are they listening to? Which particular people are listening to this radio ad? We always have to avoid the risk of spraying and praying and say, oh, I posted on social media, so everyone should be buying my product. But if I'm targeting adults or maybe people who are above 40 and 50, no one is, even the 30, people are not necessarily on the internet. You're spending time posting on Facebook. Facebook was closed in Uganda, but maybe we can access it through VPN. And if you don't understand who you're talking to, you're going to always struggle to figure out how to craft the communication for them. Competitors, it's always important. So I'll use an example. When I worked in Coca-Cola, our first competitors were Pepsi at the time. Then Reham came at the time. And so we were saying, oh, these are our competitors. Then someone said, if a person X, Gloria, walks to a shop, she has an option. She can buy Bushera, she can buy Kazire, she can buy any other drink. Now that's the person competing with your product. So it's not that they've got to be in the same category. We're competing for 1,000 shillings every day. If you walk into a shop. So for example, if I ask you what you've had for breakfast, or you've had maybe tea and mandazi, someone has taken your money for that day. If you don't know who your competitors are, you will not know how to approach them. The other thing is, if you don't know where your competitors are, you'll not either go and participate in that same space, one, or say, okay, let me go where they are not, right? The biggest challenge, well, one of the big challenges I see in Africa, and maybe Uganda in particular, is that we have a Me Too thing. Because your neighbor is doing bags, let me also do bags, right? Because you see it working, but actually that person is your competitor and you're competing for the same limited number of resources. Data. So what is the potential? How many, if I want to sell so let me talk of oils for cars, right? Or oils for border borders, right? The oils that they use. Okay, so how many border borders are in Kampala? Do I even know that data? Where do they service their border borders from? Do I know that data? Where do they usually purchase from? Do I know that data? Without information, you're going to struggle. A unique value proposition is super, super important. And I think for me, my encouragement is that you're going to have to take time and figure out what is unique about your offering that makes the next person, that makes someone want to buy your product. Outside that, you're going to still struggle with that. Otherwise, if we're all going to do, let me use bags as an example, or shoes, and there's nothing about your offering, is it that your bags can be delivered faster? Is it that your bags have a strong material? Is it that your bags, the keyword here is unique. Otherwise, if you're going to go into the same space and there's nothing unique in your offering, there's going to be a huge problem and you'll struggle. So you'll find yourself almost stagnant. Financial projections. You want to make money, but everything must be clear from the get-go, right? What's your revenue? What are your expenses? One of the things we forget to do sometimes is, and I've seen it, is when I'm calculating my expenses, I'm not calculating the data I'm using to communicate to my customers. I'm not calculating the airtime I'm using because MTN has given me bundles, right? I'm not calculating because I've sent a border guy to and fro, the call I'm making. So actual costs and expenses are super important. the break-even analysis, at what point you start covering your costs and making money. Your funding needs and potential sources. I really don't encourage unless you've got a solid financial backup plan. If you cannot raise your funding without borrowing, at least wait. I think we've seen in the last couple of months, there have been so many stories, right, on Twitter of all these people suffering with loans, right? I get a loan from here, a loan from the next, a loan from the next, because it's easy cash, right? But because the money is coming in, I've got to pay an interest on it, and then I'm struggling to pay. So of course they are putting out people's names, calling their relatives who stood as surety for them. If there's anything we take out of this, spend time doing the numbers. Without the numbers, it's going to be a struggle for all of us, right? At the end of the day, if without numbers, then we don't know what is it that we're chasing. If I want to make bags and the cost of my raw materials are a huge, significant percentage of my actual expenses, do I need to be finding cheaper materials? I hope you're all on the same page. Do the numbers and we shall be good. Cash flow projections. This is pretty much self-explanatory. If you need clarity, I'm happy to give more clarity. Okay. Marketing channels and tactics. Where are you going to market this product? Sorry, someone just muted. Sorry, guys. Okay.
So they just help me mute them as host.
Okay, so what are your marketing channels and tactics, right? How are you going to market? Who are you going to market to? That for me is I think the purpose of this conversation, guys, is to spend time doing this work. The more you do the work in the thinking and in the planning, the higher your chances of success. My good friend Emodek is on this call. Emodek is the CEO of Chap Chap. And I think you guys need to spend some time doing this. One of the things he's been very, when we have conversations, he's excited about marketing channels, but he's also very cost cognizant. So he always reminds me that sometimes you don't have to go big to be able to get your customers. You've got to be very tactical. How do I get to my customers? How do I know? Oops. Am I still projecting, guys?
Nope.
Okay, I think it just went off.
Gone off.
I think someone disabled screen sharing. So please just put me back.
Oh, sorry. Let me follow up.
Okay, so I'll just go quickly. How about now?
Yes, we can now see it.
Okay, sales strategy. How am I getting the product from point A to point B? Am I going to use foot soldiers? Am I going to rely on commission agents? Am I going to rely on existing outlets? So for example, usually like if I think of a beverage, I'll put my product where the other beverages are being sold, right? Because then that is where I'll find the customers. It doesn't make sense to, if I'm doing a milk product, to take it to bars, because that's common sense, right? Measure and track sales performance. And this is something I talked about earlier on. There's a famous saying, what you don't measure, you cannot manage. If I have got a salesperson X and I've given them a target of 20 units in the month, and today is 23rd, I can't wait I can't be asking for the results on 23rd of Feb. If I'm not checking every day or every week, And especially because we're young entrepreneurs, I'm not checking every door every week, Potter, because then you will all be surprised. You say, hey, you mean you didn't hit the targets? Everyone say, you mean you didn't hit the targets? And again, we'll all be struggling there. That for me is super important. Then of course, customer relationship management system. How do we do follow-up? You know, after a customer has bought a product, how many of us ever call the customer and say, thank you? How many of us remember their birthdays and send them a message and say, hey, boss, you gave me business. Thank you for the business. Super, super important. You know, if we don't do that, look, customers don't owe us anything. If they choose to leave tomorrow, that's on us. So it's important that we understand and take time to understand our customer, understand their trends, understand their habits, understand their peak times, when they buy, when they don't buy, right? Sorry guys, just trying to get something connected here. These are promotions. These are things that you can figure out. But again, this is, I almost want you to approach this cautiously. You only do promotions after you've made money, not before. Discounts, be cautious about this, because these are things you also need to factor in. Okay. All right, so guys, top of mind, if there's a plan, look at it regularly, revise, review, and then use the same plan to think about it. Sorry, use a plan to guide your decision making. It's almost got to be like a Bible for Christians and maybe Quran for Muslims. If you don't read it, the chances that you want to know what you want to know, you won't get your spiritual guidance. So if you're not referring to your plan, reviewing it, revising it, changing this, changing the other, then you'll struggle. Share with stakeholders and investors. And I think that's the beauty of organizations like Imuka. Our job is to make sure that you bring your plan as raw as it is. Then we're able to panel beat it together. Then we're able to provide guidance. Oops. Then we're able to provide guidance and say, okay, this is what we need to be doing correctly or not, stuff like that. Are we good? Evaluate progress. Stakeholders and investors. I think for me, I like to say that I'm always learning, right? I cannot say, oh, I know it, oh, I've understood it, oh, I've gotten everything in life. No, I haven't. I think the fact that there's people who are better than you, there are people who have gone ahead of you, it's important that you allow.
Recording in progress.
Sorry. It's important that you allow people to speak into your plan. Now, okay, so I wanted to share something. I don't know if I'm able to, but Gloria, maybe Gloria, I don't know if you have a template that we can refer to, but I just found these things on the net and I just figured I want to share with you, right?
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay. All right. So, a couple of things, lessons we learn every day. Sometimes we spend so much time because it's 23rd of Jan. Between 1st and 23rd, if I use 1st as a milestone, how much have we actually done? Have we spent more time thinking, procrastinating, dilly-dallying on the plan? I struggle with this. That's why for me, it spoke to me, right? Overthinking. How much do we achieve with the overthinking compared to doing? And the second picture I put, so it's a combination of two things. There's always the goal. We want to make money. We want to change people's lives. We want to change the world. That's good. And the system is a vehicle, right? So a system on its own is not functional. A goal on its own is not functional. The two need to work hand in hand. Now, I promise you, one of the greatest challenges you're going to face is rejection. Everyone's going to say no, 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 No. I'm going to put Emma on the spot sometime, not today, but if he tells you his journey, the number of no's he has received are enough to have discouraged him from his dream. And even for many of us, many say, no, you can't do this. No, you're not good enough. No, you're not do this. However, every time you just need to hold on to the 1 yes. And the 1 yes sometimes is going to be you and only you. Sorry, guys, just allow me to switch gadgets. My battery is running low on one. Just allow me to switch gadgets.
It's okay. I like Joe is saying rejection only needs a masterclass on its own. Joe, do you want to tell us your story? But yeah, it's really hard to take in those no's, but we have to develop thick skins. Where's the echo coming from?
I think that was sorry, just a minute.
As we wait for Daniel, I want to thank the people who have joined us. We are so honored to have Mr. Emmanuel Emodek, the founder of Chap Chap. If you don't know Chap Chap, Panange, which business are you doing? We are honored to have him. And we have his story on our YouTube channel. We've walked a long journey with him. He has inspired us. We've inspired him. He's one of those people who don't give up. And it has paid off, as you know. Chap Chap is now crossing the boundaries of Uganda to other countries. And we want all your businesses to grow to that level and even more. So thank you so much for joining the call. If later on, if you don't mind, you will talk to us and just share with the entrepreneurs on call. I'm also honored to have one of my coaches. She has fallen off, Audrey. I saw Audrey somewhere. Thank you for joining. Fatima, thank you for being here. Harriet, all the way from Northern. Harriet Adong, you're welcome. Leila was here when we started. Karen, thank you so much. Audrey's back. Audrey runs the Hassan Society. They support women in corporate worlds to expand their financial streams. Mr. Paul is in the building. He's one of our business experts. Very talented man. And we have Sandra Mbabazi. I had not seen you before. You're welcome. Mwanguzi Isaac, you're welcome. Mr. Abdul Mutebi, you're welcome. Moses, you're welcome. Mr. Matovu, you're welcome. Lynn Nakabugo, you're welcome. Everyone, you're welcome on the call. Please, as we have been doing, leave your name and type of business on the chat section so that our guests can know how best to support you to set your business goals, plus also for us to connect with you and network and support each other in business. So as we wait for Mr. Daniel to switch devices and come back, if anyone can unmute and share with us how business is going, it will be awesome. Audrey, are you free to unmute and say hi? Or Emodek, or anyone who is willing to share. As we wait for our guest.
Yes, as we wait for Daniel, this is Andrew once again. I've dropped a link to join for the entrepreneurs to join our WhatsApp group where I shall keep these conversations going on. So feel free to join. Let me share again in the chat. Kindly join in. We'll be notified about the opportunities that we have, the programs that we'll be running, everything. So feel free to join. Thank you.
Thank you, Sozi. Moses has introduced himself. He's doing coffee and fruit farming. We are honored to have you. We are honored to have you on the call. Coffee is an export cash crop. I hope we can connect and see how to support you to cross the borders of Uganda with that awesome cash crop. Anyone else? Mr. Emodek?
Good morning, Gloria.
Yes, Audrey, you're most welcome. Please say hello to us.
Thank you for having us. It's been I listened to bits, but yeah, I've also learned a lot, and I think it's a very timely conversation. My name is Audrey Tumwine. I am a financial advisor and certified financial literacy trainer, like Gloria mentioned. And I'm the CEO and founder at Hassens, where we empower working women to thrive financially through coaching and through personalized financial education. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you so much for joining in. I'm always learning from Audrey, and I'm humbled that she's even on this platform. That goes to show that she's also willing to learn from me and others. Yes, Mr. Abdul does digital marketing, website, graphics, IT. Awesome. We're in a digital era, so you're very important, sir. Our host is ready to continue. Allow me to hand over back to him. Mr. Daniel, whenever you're ready, please project your screen and continue.
Thanks,
you.
Gloria. Thank you guys for your patience. When I was given this topic, I was trying to come up with very clever ways of presenting this particular topic. Then I realized that, you know, in marketing, we say you don't reinvent the wheel. People have done stuff before, and the opportunity is to, we used to call it Xeroxing in school, or at least try and copy what seems to be working. So I want to share something. Just give me a second. Sorry, Gloria, just please continue. Sorry, my apologies, team. I'm just.
Yes, we are patiently waiting for you to set that up. Mr. Paul Onotoboza Kosebo. As we wait, Mr. Paul is a business expert. I don't know if he's free to talk or he's engaged. He has done so many trainings with us, and we have seen how he impacts people positively. Mr. Paul, I don't know if you can speak. Oh, Daniel is sharing. Awesome. All right. We can see your screen now. Guys, are you using AI in your businesses? It is coming by storm, whether we want or not. So the earlier we embrace it, the better. It can really simplify a lot of work in your business. So hopefully maybe we'll have another session later to understand how to use AI in our businesses. Daniel, whenever you're ready, let me know.
How does AI work?
AI is
Without
wide.
me Googling.
AI is like your personal assistant. You can do marketing with it. You can do videos with it. You can schedule posts with it. You can do a business plan. You can do so much. It's actually very wide, but just know it simplifies your work in business, especially if your business, like you don't have many workers, it's a lean team. It can help you achieve so much where you don't have like to hire people for every particular job. So you can leverage on that to make things happen faster for you in business. Have I explained it simply, or I've not confused you?
Thank you.
Awesome,
Try it out
awesome.
and see how it works.
Oh yes, it's actually exciting. A bit scary, but exciting. 'Cause you find that you can do so much. So it's just up to us to be open to learning how to use it. Maybe the IT person would be knowing better. Was that Abdul? Mr. Abdul is in IT. The IT gurus are enjoying AI, Chat GPT, and all the others. Mr. Daniel, you can also use AI to review some. Oh yes, AI can help you review your business plans, and once it understands your business, the kind of customer you're trying to target,
Okay.
it can
Hi.
actually tailor it for you. Yes, Daniel, you're ready?
Okay. Yes, I am. Just let me know you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
All right, guys. Again, sorry, technology got the better of me, and that's the fear for AIs. Like I was saying earlier on, there is nothing new that you may not have seen, right? You may have seen or not seen. However, this for me, I want to use it as a guide. I went through a couple of business plans online, and I've seen some here and there. But I'm a firm believer in, we used to call it KISS, acronym was KISS, keep it simple, stupid, right? Or keep it short and simple for those who are more sanitized. Okay, so for starters, if you're taking notes, the notes I'll just write now what your company name is and the date you prepared it and your tagline. What is it that you want to be known for, right? Bringing solutions closer, or Coca-Cola used to have one called Open Happiness. Happiness is very relative, but hey, and the date for me is super important, right? So we're just going to go through this. Again, like I said, just take a few notes and the rest I'm sure you'll figure out. But I'll just talk through. One, of course, we'll just have, what's your table of contents? It's got to be like your Bible, like the thing that you refer to. Because if it's not done in a clear, strategic, and concise way, you'll struggle to follow up. Okay, what did I do? What did I say I was going to do? Or you wake up every morning saying, today let me do marketing. Tomorrow let me look at numbers. Tomorrow let me look at this, and you'll be everywhere. So of course we look at the summary. What's the opportunity? And I'm going to dwell on this a lot. How are we going to execute it? What's your team going to be like? And the numbers. Okay. This is already on the net, so I'm not going to claim like I'm very clever. I came up with it, but it's one I liked the most. So, friends, what is the opportunity? Why does your business exist? Is it just for just? Is it to make money? What problem do you want to solve for your customers? If you've listened to all these entrepreneurs, there is a problem. Usually it starts with, there's a problem. Then you want to come with a solution. Not because I'm so clever, let me come up with this brilliant idea, but there's no problem I'm solving. Because what ends up happening is that you'll be producing, but no one is actually receiving your product. So the problem summary, there is this problem in town. So for example, let me use waste. Someone talked about waste and recycling waste. There's so much, there's many caveras in town. It blocks our drainage. As a result, what I would like to do is clean up the environment, but the way I'm going to do it is to collect the rubbish. I have a friend who's doing rubbish collection, and then clean it, pack it, and sell it to people who want to recycle. That for me would be an example, because until there's a problem, you'll be coming up with a solution. You'll be shooting a miss and going everywhere. What does your company do? And let's avoid let's practice separating ourselves, the individual, from the company. Every time you see yourself, you look at yourself from your abilities, and then it gets clouded. So your vision for yourself and the vision for your company are all mashed into one thing. What does your company do? And this, for me, my friends, is that this is going to be something, it's not a final statement you write. Your summary is going to evolve with time as your vision gets better. Who is your target customer or market segment? We talked about this. It's got to be that you're targeting either, are they commuters, guys going home every day? Is it that you're targeting school children? Funny story, there's a friend of mine who, actually a cousin, when schools started refusing parents from bringing food during visitation day, he has gone to the different schools and he has said, what if I bring my machines, my grills, and I grill the food, the chicken, or whatever it is, and the parents can buy from the school. I think there had been a case of food poisoning. So that's what he does. So he has different grills. So every VD visiting day, he's at the schools grilling food. See, figured out his market and he says, I can only go schools. So you'll not see him at a party. You'll not see him at a wedding. No, his target is schools and it's very clear. Competition. I think this is a place we struggle with. Because we believe in ourselves a bit too much sometimes, we think we operate as if we're the only ones in the market. I promise you, everyone is waking up to copy. Everyone is waking up to think of the idea. So what is it that they are doing and how different? So for me, my encouragement is that we've got to keep modifying the solution we want to offer. So for me, this work through is very important for now, that this is what we are perfecting. That if I'm going to do something and if I'm doing daddies, I have a friend who's doing daddies. And so every time I ask her, so how different are your daddies? So mine are nice. I said, yes, I appreciate they're nice. But how different are they? Whom are you talking to? Because if you're talking to, you're putting them in a supermarket, no offense against supermarkets, and there's already 13 players selling daddies in the supermarket, you're going to struggle to stand out. Let's not even talk about the credit involved. And of course, overview of you and your team, why we're the right people to build this business. I don't want to spend much time on it. Forecast. I think if we don't have a direction of saying, I want to sell X number of things by this, then we will struggle. Like I've said, I'm not going to claim to be very clever with these things. These things are all on the internet. Friends, take time, calculate your revenue, know your expenses and costs, know your net profit or net loss, whichever way you want to look at it. Okay. Financing needed, right? What are you looking for? All of us, unless you have a rich background, and money will always be there, it's important that you first take your time and calculate, okay, so for me to be able to start selling shoes at a shop, I need rent for the next 3 months covered. Is that money there? Yes. I need my salaries for the next 3 months covered? Yes. Because as the business starts, your trust may probably covering your costs, and as you go along, you start making your money. Like I said, okay. I'll just go to this already. What do customers need? Do they need a better product or cheaper product or better location? Why will customers want to buy from you? My friend who's selling coffee, and I think for me, I want to give you credit. You're a very brave person. Coffee, I know, is not probably one of the easiest products, but I give you credit for going into it. But you need to be asking yourself, why me? Why me? Why me? Why me? Why not the next person next door? Why not the person who's got coffee shops? what's unique about what you're offering? All right. This, I'm not going to do that. We talked of alternatives for customers. If again, let me use my brother who's doing coffee. If we are friends and 10 of us already doing coffee, do I want to be the 11th doing coffee? Question for the day. Okay, if I'm going to be the 11th, where am I going to go that these other 10 are not going? Who am I going to talk to that they are not talking to? How am I going to get my product cheaper, etc., and etc.? How do I do? Am I going to do delivery? Am I going to get Glovo, right? Marketing plan. Usually marketing and sales are mixed up, right? Everyone's saying, no, I'm doing marketing. Oh, I'm doing sales. Marketing is going to be what form? So marketing is mainly how do people know about you? Without them seeing the product or without them touching the product, how will they know about you? You guys are lucky that that we are in a digital era, right? So there's all these digital things that people can use to sell a product. Many years ago, people would just you'd have to either go door to door, or you'd have to take the product physically to get it out there. Am I going to do? Am I going to have a digital calendar for when I do my posts? Am I going to go organic ads on digital? Am I going to go paid ads? Am I going to go influencers? For starters, influencers, I'll put a caveat there. Take your time. Don't be in a hurry to get influencers for your products. I think the struggle is that influencers, my advice, you get to influencers after you've reached a certain level of growth in your business. Otherwise, influencers may not necessarily return sales. They may return, keyword is may return brand equity. People will know about you. But after I know about you, will the influencer's message be so strong that I say, hey, I heard about Gloria's cakes. Let me go and look for the Gloria's cakes. You know, will it make me pick money from my product? Because that's the end of the day. That's what we want to do. We want to get people to pick money from their product, from their pockets, and buy a product. Okay, so of course, sales plans. How do you get people to sell? How do you get people to convert? Now, let me just talk about sales quickly. Sales has got to be looked at in two portions, right? I've got to have a pipeline, and I've got to have actuals. So if I say today is the 23rd, and I want by the 23rd of Feb to have talked to 50 customers and sold to 30, argument's sake. Now, the pipeline, the people who are coming in, the potentials should always be more than the actuals. Let me repeat that. The list of customers I am targeting who are on my hit list should be more than the people who I've actually sold to. The reason here is that out of the 50 that you have targeted, maybe only 10% will buy, or 50% will buy. But if you're not, so for example, if I wake up today on the 23rd and I am saying I'm going to sell soda and I'm going to walk door to door, that means I'm just hitting a miss, right? I've not planned my sales. I've not thought through who I'm going to target. I've not thought through the list of customers. So I'll use the Jibu model as an example. So Jibu, the way it works is that it's a franchise model, and people are getting the idea is that you should be able to sell water within your small radius, meaning that I must have scoped the number of customers. So, for example, I want to let me use makeup as an example. I want to make up 50 ladies, 50 weddings by the end of the year, right? That number must be there. Okay, so where am I getting the 50? I'm going to go to all wedding venues. I'm going to talk to all bridal shops. I'm going to talk to the guys who hire cars. But who are those people? If they're not written down, then you're going to struggle, right? If I don't know that, okay, from the wedding meetings that sit at Centenary Park, and do they still sit there? I don't even know anymore. They are usually every week, there are about 15 couples. I don't know these things anymore. 15 couples sit there. So 15 times, okay, let's say 15 times 4, that is 60 in a month. Of those 60, okay, so 60 is my pipeline. So does that mean I'm going to talk to, if I manage to talk to get 20 of those 60 for the month, I am better than someone who has locked in 3 or 4. Primarily because the plan was there that I said I'm going to spend every week at Centenary Park because I'm a startup, I'm a small person, I'll be talking to them. I give at least 60 couples must know about me and my makeup skills. Afazad, let them know about that I do this, as opposed to saying, we shall see. Remember, if I use makeup as an example, there's still opportunities, but also your competition is someone who is going to go to Mona Faces as an example. They'll not even think twice. So your competition is people who are already established. But if I say I'm a makeup artist, where am I getting these people? Do my friends know? How many friends of mine are getting married? In fact, you go and tell your friends, all of you get married this year, Mumpe business, get married, so that those are in your list. Okay, I've dealt a lot on this. Of course, location. Emodek. Is Emodek still on the call, Gloria?
He's there, but he's prospering in Kamoli. He doesn't
He's
want
in
to be
Kamoli.
there.
So, gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies, there's a reason why I keep referring to Emodek, because we've known each other for years. But location, I think.
Good morning,
as
Roy.
Ugandans.
Good morning.
How are you doing, Emodek?
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah,
Daniel.
I just wanted to know I'm not talking alone. So, gentlemen, Emodek, the founder of Chap Chap, told me something he probably doesn't even remember. Keep your costs low. So Emodek's office is in Namugongo. Can Emodek afford to be at Acacia Mall? 100%. Like in a heartbeat. If he wanted to move his offices to Acacia Mall, that one he can do. But knowing, because you've understood your product, your location is not key to where you need to be. So for me, it's also looking, especially when you look at operations, like what's the relevance to the business? If I'm a makeup artist and I can be mobile, by all means, let me do so. But if I'm going to start spending money on rent and facilities and your car and URA, that is a risk. So it's important that you need to think about that. Technology, how do people know where you are? Is it an app, right? If I need to order, can I find you on Jumia? Jumia, I don't know if it's how relevant it still is, but is there an app for ordering my product? Is there an app for recall? Okay, what equipment do I need? I'll not get into that. And again, for me, milestones are important. So I want to have achieved this by this time. A goal not written down is only a dream, right? And we've all experienced this in life. Sorry, someone help me. If it's not written down, say by this time I must have achieved X amount of revenue. Okay. Because I work towards that, then I'm able to document that and say, okay, then this is it. Then by year 1 or year 2, I must have seen a certain number. I must be investor ready, right? What does it mean to be investor ready? What are my books like? What are my things like? Okay, that's pretty much it. So, Mr. Modek, since you're here, you should have been done doing the presentation, but since you're here, just if you could just share with us your learnings, maybe from the aspect around business planning, what you have done over the years.
Daniel, today I'd prefer to be a student in class.
No, just summarize. You're already here, so you should have joined under Elias. No, I think for me, just to provide, I think for me, I'm just looking for a more practical thing. It doesn't have to be too long. Just what it is that you have done, your lessons, just that summarize, and then.
Thank you for having me on the call. My name is Emmanuel Emodek. I'm the founder and director at Chap Africa. We are a digital SME platform that we're extending financial digital service the last mile. So on the question on the business plan. So honestly, when I started business, the word business plan didn't exist in my vocabulary. And I think as I went on, I got to understand that these things were important. But at the beginning, and if there's anyone who is starting, it might be important, but I think what is very important at the beginning is that do you have actually product market fit? And from there, you build capacity onwards. So for me, it has been more of experience. I have run a couple of businesses, many that I sold off at the beginning of my journey. But one thing that I remember very well is that I kept on picking the lessons, especially the failures. Why did this fail? And I didn't want to repeat it again. So I strongly believe that many people who are into the entrepreneur journey should understand that there's no first-hand rule about business. If you sit with different businesses, entrepreneurs, they have different stories that they'll tell you about business. That's why if I'm to do a class and I'm talking to entrepreneurs, I don't normally even present. For me, it's always about questions. What challenges are you facing? And based on my experience. So if you noticed Daniel's conversation as he was speaking, every time at least he has a relative who he knows doing that business. He has a cousin who is doing that business. And this just shows you that he has gathered a lot of information based on the years that he has been in the space. So a business plan for me, I think the most important thing is that, are you creating a product that somebody can buy? A very good example I can give, and maybe I'll end here, is one time I was in a restaurant and one of a friend's friend joined the table and we started a conversation. They were talking and then she said, you know what? I'm going to quit my job. I want to become a consultant. So I asked her, why do you want to quit your job and become a consultant? And then she said, because currently, as I'm doing my job, many of my friends are calling me to consult. For a moment, I said, stop. I said, now that's the problem. They're calling you because you're offering free services. The moment you tell them you've become a consultant and you're going to charge, they will not call you anymore. They'll look for somebody else in that space that they would call. So sometimes we actually think that because you're in a particular area and you're seeing a movement of people getting into a shop and you think that a business works. But there are so many things that you can't see with your naked eye. And I think for me, like I said, the first thing to do is just make sure that you have product market fit. Can somebody actually pay for your product? And that's why freebies don't work. The moment you start introducing freebies, you're basically saying you're bribing the customer to buy. So at the beginning, if you have product market fit, I think everything actually will fall in line. Daniel, I hope I have contributed to the conversation.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Emodek. And I think just you cement one of the things I alluded to, product market fit, but who actually needs your product, right? And not that, not that because you're nice and everyone, you're a happy guy, you can give out, you can do this or you can do the other. What's the need? And are you plugging that need? That's it. I don't know if there's questions. I'd just like to hand over to Gloria.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, Emodek, for chipping in. It was golden nuggets. It's always good to hear from someone who has been done that. Thank you so much. Members, you are free to ask away. Do not shy away. These are experts in their fields, and we are more than happy to respond to whatever question you might have. Like you've seen, we have different people from different fields on the group. So feel free to fire away your questions. If you want to ask directly, please can raise your hand and unmute. If not, you can put your question on the chat section. I will read it out. Daniel, maybe you will stop sharing the screen.
I think just try and, if you can end it from my side, or end it from my side, just remove the sharing rights from me. Because then I'm struggling to close it here.
Sozi, could you support on that?
Gloria, I have a question for Daniel.
Yes. Oh, nice. Okay.
I also have.
So
okay, let
Daniel, Daniel, I know you've been very instrumental, especially working with different companies in the country, pushing the marketing and sales side of business. There's a big challenge today where the young people don't really have the, or I'd call it ethical, I'd say like proper working, not skills, but attitude, where you build a sales team, send them into the field, and literally the next day you wake up and none of them shows up to the field and they say things are hard. But when you compare this to during your regime, you would find people with even probably somebody walking without a sole on their shoe, and they will do whatever it takes to get a sale closed. What do you think could be the what do you think could be the challenge now, and how do we as entrepreneurs actually adopt to the current trends in the market?
So same. I just had this conversation yesterday with someone. I feel like there's a, so think about it from I think it's like an instant generation problem, like instant coffee, instant porridge, instant this. I think we're looking for the challenge, I think, and I hope there's some young people in here, is that we're looking for quick results. I don't use the word grid, but let me use the word grid. That you want to drive a car tomorrow. If you walked out of campus, you want to have a car. Why not? You know, the internet era has empowered people. You know, there's so much power in a gadget. There's so much power in a handset. So because I can say something and the whole world hears me because I put it on TikTok, I'm a rock star. And unfortunately, that is a challenge. So how do you figure it out? I think I'm still struggling with that, but I'll take what my tabs. I think one of the things is I think that, so let me put it this way. I think so millennials, if I may call it Gen Zs, sorry, Gen Zs are always looking for, I think they make work-life balance. It comes first before anything else. Like, so it's important that just those conversations are held. So one of the things I'm learning, I call myself a learner, is that current the people, like, they want to be heard. The Gen Zs want to be heard. That, oh, so what is it? What am I? How is home? You almost have to get into a personal conversation to feel a connection. Whereas in my days, didn't really care whether you had food or not. No one cared. So that is one. The other thing is also, I think one of the things I'm trying to figure out is maybe having conversations around a career path. So it's almost to draw a roadmap for them and say, okay, so this is what you want to be. But for you to get here, these are the things that must be achieved. the challenge, of course, with this current generation is that there is no, the aspect of everything is overly time bound, right? I think just, sorry, let's go quickly. So of course, there's conversations around flexible working arrangements, which may be a trick in our businesses, because for me, I expect it to be at 5, here at 5, sorry, be at work at 8, leave at 5, that's up to you. It will be a struggle now. However, the flexibility sometimes with the salespeople, and I say this with so much caution, is that I say, okay, if I want 100 sales by the end of the month, you give me 100 sales, we talk. But also emphasizing and reading almost, I almost call it a right act of painting the picture and saying, okay, this is what I want us to do by this time. Sorry, this is what I want us to have achieved by this time. Is it clear? Is it not? Things like wellness programs. The young people are always talking about, oh, mental health. And again, I'm not making light conversations of mental health, but let me say it in Uganda, tuchikuza nnyo, tuchikulembeza nnyo, in the sense that if someone is stressed, they read it as depression. And stressed could be because things are not working out at the time. Sometimes it's just to have those wellness programs to say, you know what, all right, if we need a counselor, there's someone you can talk to. The other thing is, so in the workplaces, we cannot provide increased pay because that's just what everyone is looking for. But I think in the aspect of growth and development, is there opportunities for training, workshops, conferences, knowledge, and skills? It's to say that, you know what, sometimes it's important that our staff know that, oh, they are part of a big vision. And in that means, okay, there's going to be regular training. I'm going to make you better at this. Where possible, we pair them with an experienced mentor, which I can only hope we can find as many of. The other, of course, I talked about the career path. What benefits are possible? Is it possible to get health insurance? Is it possible to get, so let me just stop at health insurance. Let me not overbend us. The other is recognitions and reward. It's such a big deal nowadays that people feel that they have been seen. Oh, I have done well. I have done this. I've done the other. It's super important that a young person just being told that, by the way, you're the best today, or you're the performer of the week, performer of the month, you know. Something I think I've seen organizations like MTN do quite well is they've got I think the performer of the month, it's on the notice board, it's stuff like that. There are things that keep people engaged. Yeah, I think for me, just things like connection to a higher purpose. Sometimes we may employ people and they don't see how they fit into the bigger picture, right? How do they, like saying, okay, maybe my job is just to sell, but okay, are they part of the meetings where they're saying, okay, guys, this is what we have achieved as a team. And after that, we're going to have a small team build session. And team builds never have to be expensive. We order a goat, we eat a goat at the office. That's it. I think also just to emphasize that I think the young people just generally desire community and social connection. So sometimes it's strange that there's such a heavy need to socialize and be parts of community. It's neither here nor there for me. But again, just some of the things I believe can get us there. Of course, it doesn't eliminate those who are just negligent with work, but I think it just helps improve on things like retention and job satisfaction. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a hand up from
I have a question.
Audrey.
Sorry.
Audrey, then Moses. Go ahead, Audrey.
Thank you, Gloria. My question is on how business owners can identify their target client. One of the questions I am asked during our business coaching sessions is, you know, for most people, it's a question of why do I have to zero down on one person or one kind of person if everyone needs my product? I'll give an example of what we do at Hassens, which is financial coaching and education, but our focus is on working women. So the question would be, you know, everyone has a challenge with mismanaging their money. Why are you only serving the working woman and a specific type of working woman? When, you know, even the men have said, oh, you should think about us, the students, children, people in retirement. So what are those things that someone has to look out for to be very clear on who they're going to serve, and most importantly, who is willing to pay for the service or product?
Thank you very much. I guess so. Before, back in the day, there used to be like strict target groups. I'm either targeting group A, type A or B or C or D or bottom of the pyramid, but that has changed a lot because people have become, so I may be a, so I like CJs as an example, right? So CJs used to be perceived as A class, right? It's only A and B who go there, but it will still be a C or D. Now, C or D could be, I can be a businessman in school, but because of the framework through which the demographics have been set out, I appear as a D because maybe my education is not up there. My social circles are not your A and B, but I make enough money to be able to go to those places. I think, to be honest, for anyone to do that, you'd have to spend some time doing research. Research is, you'd almost get into, ask your friends. So if I want to, again, I'll refer to the makeup person. Okay, who are you? Okay, no, makeup is a bit too niche. But okay, for example, if I said, all right, if I sat down, got into focus groups may be a bit costly, but I'm talking to different people I want to target. Okay, this is a product I am thinking of. Would you buy it? Why would you buy it? Why wouldn't you buy it? Does it make a need for you? Is it a thing that you'd save money to buy? Does it make your life easier? Then obviously it's things like competitors help and just generally provide a scope of who is being serviced at the time. So of course, you look at things like age, right? I talked about this earlier on. So I may want to target everyone, but who has got the money, right? Who can actually, so first of all, what's the age group, right? A campuser is not thinking of, so for example, if I'm looking, let me go extreme. A campuser is not thinking of buying a car. Well, maybe things have changed. In my days, it was not possible. That's not the top of your agenda. You're trying to get into books. You're trying to think of, how do I look nice? How do I smell good at an affordable price? How do I eat food, which is not too bad, but I mean, I'm still aspirational. So, for example, when on campus, we used to, don't calculate the age, we used to find either you could buy, with 1,000 shillings, either you could buy Rolex, a hectic Rolex, or you could buy chips. Now, depending on how you wanted to be perceived by the girls, speak for myself, you'd maybe carry chips but they're for 1,000, but no one knows the difference. But that means you're not going to be satisfied compared to the Rolex person. Location, where are these guys actually located? If I'm going to talk to business people or traders or whoever it is, where am I going to find them? If I want to sell, okay, so for example, on Saturdays, there is the usual expatriate community has got markets, like the markets where they go and buy their all different like groceries and the like. But you'll find them going to places around Acacia, places around Bogolovi. So if I want to target the Wazungu and I want to sell my product to them, where am I going to find them at that time? I'll not go to their homes, but I know every Saturday there's about 4 markets in Kampala where they're going to buy stuff. So you'll find people selling shea butter, all sorts of things, but every Saturday. because then they are sure that's where they are. Occupation. What is it that the person does? Is it that they again, are they people who not sure whether they're working? Like, again, I'll use the campus example. Education is also super important. Is your product one that can be used by all regardless, or must people have understood it well enough, right? Income. Then there's also things which are characteristics, like what are the values? What are the things they believe in? What are the things that are important to them? Right now, our females, not to single you out, it's important. How you look is important to you. So the makeup industry is growing, or those doing makeup, because face bit must be on point. So I'll face bit because I'm going for a birthday party. Before, remember, makeup used to be only for weddings. I'll make up because I'm going for a birthday party or a photo shoot or my friend's engagement party. What are the things that interest them, right? What are the things they like doing? What's the places like going to? Right now, things that have picked up are branches. Those who do branches on Sundays or Saturdays, they've quickly understood that people have a bit of money to spend, but they also want to be seen. They want to go to a nice place. They'll spend 150 to 250 for one day just to eat and drink some wine, but to have a good time, right? So they'll put for them these parties at places like Silo, at Fairway, etc. and etc. What are the pain points? What is it that the target audience is looking at? What are their pain points? What are their challenges? Of course, what do they like? So the one is around buyer behavior. When do they buy these things? At what point in time? Do you time your event? For example, I'll use the branches. Do I time a branch at the end of the month, in the middle of the month when there's no salary, or when people have been paid? How do they like to know this communication? Would they like to know by WhatsApp, by Snapchat, etc. and etc.? Then, of course, you have to create what they call, sorry, I hope I'm not going too quickly, like what they call them buyer personas, right? If I think of this person, if I use, sorry, the name is Audrey, right?
Yes, Audrey.
Yes, so Audrey. So if I say Audrey, I put Audrey there. Okay, what is Audrey's behavior? What is it that she likes doing? Where does she spend her money? What are the things that interest her? How does she receive communication? So, for example, Audrey, if I want to target you, I need to be able to understand that, okay, Audrey's modes of communication, or to be able to communicate to her, I need to use Instagram or Snapchat. Audrey is not a TikTok person, so I'm not going to try and pass my message through communicate. In that, I'm trying to first build my target audience persona. So the more I build a persona around Audrey, then I'm getting to understand that, okay, this is Audrey. This is what she likes. This is what she doesn't like. Audrey does not listen maybe to radio. She listens to, she only watches TV, and she watches TV at this point in time. Or she only reads online news. So I'm almost get into the day-to-day, the morning to evening of a person. What does this person do? Then when I understand them better, then I'm able to communicate to them. That way I understand it better. I hope I'm not being all over the place.
No, you haven't. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for responding to Audrey. Next, we shall have Moses. Your hand was up, Moses, then Julie. Is Moses still on? Let's see. Okay. Julie, you can go ahead. I can't see Moses. Julie, go ahead with your question.
Good morning, everyone. A quick one to Daniel. You talked about marketing strategy. My business is basically traditional business, waste management. The demographics of people that buy into our services, mostly my age group 40 and above, and a few Gen Zs. But we've tried the online thing, doesn't really work. So we've really stuck to the traditional door-to-door and community engagement. However, we are moving to a new location. That's a little, that's how do I say it? That's much bigger, and our target is different. We are only looking at the commercial spaces, commercial waste, what we call commercial waste, with less of residential. My question is, would we
Sorry, I seem to have
We
lost
lose
you.
Julie? Julie, are you there? We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay, I was saying Daniel talked about marketing strategies, and I was just wondering, we've used the same strategy and gotten good results, but we're moving to a new location with a different target audience. I just wondering if we could do the repeats. And then two, he talked about something on managing your expenses and specifically office space. Just to add a little, depending on what your product is or your service is, some services do not need you to spend on office space. I worked for close to 8 years without an office until just recently last year. So even in the new space I'm going to, I'll still work home until such a time when I know it's stabilized. So thank you.
Sorry, I'm sorry I lost you. So you're moving. Let me try and repeat your question. You're trying to figure out if the marketing strategy used for the old location would still work for the new location, right?
Yes, only that the new location, but targeting a different audience.
How different is it?
Here we've been targeting residential clients, and there we're only targeting commercial clients.
Okay.
The banks, the schools, the industries. I'm not sure door-to-door will work. We've done the door-to-door and it was perfect. I don't know. Just speaking loud.
So I don't know if I've got a lesser focused answer, but this is it. Like I said earlier on, I don't believe in reinventing the wheel, right? What you've done has worked. And because, yes, it may be commercial in that sense, but you still need to have the one-on-one conversation, to be honest. It doesn't really change from a location perspective. Let me tell you what I'm thinking. So if there's a place in Namandre, the business park, right? If I use that as an example, part of it would be, okay, how many factories are here? If I'm just to laugh on the example, what are they currently doing from a waste management perspective? Do they have someone already collecting or not? If they're already collecting, what is the offer? Can my offer get better? I think that you may need to factor in things like capacity in terms of what if I'm going to collect all this waste, right? Do I have the capacity to handle it? I think that for me is okay. I wouldn't want to overly deviate. I just think that you'd have to factor in a capacity issue, because if I'm picking waste from residence 11111, then what does that then mean? You may also need to look at frequency of collection, right? That may be something that the dynamics may change. I've been doing maybe every day or every other day in residence and Tinder. Factory may mean once a week, right? Because they need to raise enough volume to be able to have enough waste. I think for me, it's how you position yourself, right? Come to these people as a partner, right? Because with this whole ESG and drive with organizations, people are trying to figure out, okay, how do I have environmentally friendly practices? How do I seem like I am part of helping them keep the environment better, such that then they partner with me? I think also the opportunity you have is that you have opportunities to do some CSR stuff with these commercial spaces you're going to go to, because then they are more open to some conversations. So maybe your costs can get met, you can get partnerships. Do you want to get into things like networking? For example, let me just say, for example, there is an association of procurement officers in Uganda. I forget what it's called. They usually have got events. Is that something you want to go and make your pitch to? Maybe, maybe not. Then for me, because you're going to have, you're talking to a much richer audience, or a much more sophisticated audience, how you approach them is going to matter, right? Before it has been maybe your guys go knocking at your door says, Njagala Kasa Siro, Ntwala Kasa Siro. You may need to have some polished people, right? Who go and explain to, oh, this is what we do. This is how we present ourselves. This is what's unique about us. And try and almost understand what are their needs. So it's almost like you work with their needs and then work backwards. Yeah, I think also think about long term, maybe how do you educate people about waste, etc. and etc. Yep, makes sense. That's what I think.
Thank you. You almost read my mind.
Glad to hear. Glad to hear that.
Thank you. Thank you. The very things I'm thinking about. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Cool.
Awesome. Awesome. Good to know. Great minds think alike. Awesome. Anyone else with a question? We are almost at the tail end of our session. I don't want to leave anyone with a burning question. Do we have any hand up? Moses, I don't know if you're still on call. Your hand was up, but I no longer see it. Oh, their hands up. Moses, you go first because you put your hand up, and then Joy, you go next. So Moses, please go ahead. Moses, kindly unmute and give us your question. Moses, today what is happening? Joy, continue.
Yes. I hope that I can be heard. Much as I've been struggling with
closer to your microphone.
Yeah, Gloria, can you hear me?
That is much better. Please proceed.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. I am quite enlightened in this conversation. I am just wondering, the question of resources has always been there, even with governments, even at personal level, even organizations and all that. And there is a situation where you have set up a business and the only thing that is left is to get, as you are working hard to get the resources. Is it okay to start up a second business and start laying foundation for another business as you work hard to like get the resources to expand your first business? Thank you very much, Gloria.
Over to you, Mr. Daniel.
I would like to pass that question to Roy. Roy, you've been in Kamori, but yeah, I don't overwing this one. I'd rather you answer that one.
Can I respond to it at the wrap up? Maybe
Okay,
you can
let's take note of that.
Oh.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Roy. And Joy, the reason I'd like Roy to answer it is that this is where Imuka plays actively, right, in business advisory and the like. And I don't want to give you a very theoretical answer. I'd rather you get some. We all have something practical. But again, I think for me, just to again, the aspect of loans without a proper cash flow plan is a huge risk, right? Because yes, you'll be paying back the loan, you'll be paying back interest, but how much money are you making? Is it covering both the payback and the interest and giving you money left over? So it's always important that, I mean, we've always also sometimes been encouraged to, if you're to borrow from friends, borrow where there's no gun. Because let me tell you what the risk of borrowing is. I just talked to a friend 3 weeks ago, and he had borrowed from about 5 or 6 of these companies. That you know all the ones that have been hustling people, right? So you borrow from this one, that you're using one, you're hedging money from one to cover the other, and obviously things go haywire, and then they are calling your parents and your family members, and so yeah. So I'm also keen on learning how to raise funds.
Awesome. Good, you've highlighted the importance of us learning from each other, and Roy will respond to that later. I was wondering, is Eugene on call? There's something I would like us to learn from Eugene. So is Eugene on?
Yes, Eugene is on the call, so he's going to present shortly.
Yes, so before Roy wraps up, allow me to bring in Eugene to share with us something that will definitely help our businesses. Eugene, please proceed.
Yes, hello. Sorry about that. I just jumped off for a second.
It is well. Please proceed.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. I'm happy to see you all here enjoying this masterclass. I'm sure we've all learned a thing or two, and we're still learning. And so I'm excited today to tell you about the Imuka for Business tools that we currently have that you can benefit from as an entrepreneur. So today I'm going to be introducing you to the Imuka Business Manager. So this is a powerful and easy to use tool that's designed specifically for SMEs in Uganda. So it's a one-stop platform to help you manage your operations, your finances, and it will allow you to grow seamlessly. So some of the key benefits you can have with it: you can track your finances. So you can manage income and expenses effortlessly. Then you can also have simplified invoicing, whereby you can make an invoice. It will also automatically remind the person you're invoicing when they have taken a good amount of time without paying you. You have streamlined operations, you have HR management, and you also have insights. So there are many other features. I won't get into the details of all of them, but sorry about that. Let me just share my screen and just show you a bit of the tool. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. So yes, this is the tool in a nutshell. You can see this is a test business, but straight from the dashboard, you have all these statistics at a glance. So you have your last 12 months income, you have recurring payments, overdue invoices, pending invoices, net income. And to make it easy for use, you have everything you would need to access from the tool, all in this tiny plus in the corner. So as I had mentioned, it allows you to track your finances. You can simplify invoicing. It actually even has an HR management feature. You can add your custom taxes. So a lot is possible with that tool. I won't go into depth of all the users, but maybe I can just show you some of the example features it has. So for example, under sales, you have your invoices here. And in your invoices, you have up to 8 templates to choose from. So it's highly customizable to your business. You can also add your customers. Then you can add your products and you can track the quantities of the product you have left. So that is also a simplified way of having your inventory managed. So for example, let's say you have pens and you have 100 in your inventory. If you sell 10 in your invoice, that will be deducted from the amount you have available. So yeah, you can also generate all these reports. You have your profit and loss, sales tax report, income by customer, and so all these reports help you make better decisions and they improve the analytics of your business. So feel free to check out the tool. It has a 14-day free trial, and because it's made for SMEs in Uganda, it comes at a subsidized cost of only $6 a month with all of these features. So in case you're also interested and you need the sign up link, I'm going to drop it in the chat, but you can also reach out to us, the team, and we shall be happy to take you through the tool and collaborate on how it can assist your business in the best way. Thank you.
Yeah, so in addition to that, we're also going to share a link in the group, in the WhatsApp group for Imuka. Connect to business opportunities. You'll be able to access the link from there, be able to register, and then be onboarded into the platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eugene and Sozi, for taking us through that. Like I said, let us use technology to do business in an easier way. You don't have to burden yourself with so much. Technology is here to make our processes smoother and straight, and you have everything in one place. So please, I encourage all of you to join the Imuka WhatsApp group. We share so much and we help you to connect to business opportunities and much more. So to end us will be Roy responding to Joy's question and then closing us off. I thank you all for staying up to this time. This means you're really invested and keen to grow your businesses. I thank you all. Roy, you're most welcome to respond to that question and give us the parting shots. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Daniel. It has been a great, insightful session. I've picked a lot, and thank you for making time. And thank you, Emmanuel, also for your insights. It was great learning from you. Just to start with the question of Joy, resources will never be enough in business. You'll always find your dream or your vision is bigger than your current capacity, and typically the capacity is in form of resources. The question is, what would be an ideal resource at any particular time? I'll give you an example, probably a relatable example about a day. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, an entrepreneur reached out. He wanted to fundraise resources. He's producing hygiene products. And yeah, when we visited him, he had very nice products, but he was not selling yet, or the sales were really low, but he needed money and ideally a loan. Now, in order to protect him, I recommended that let him prioritize a B2B kind of engagement, maybe getting or supplies from businesses which may order big volumes, probably with the low margins, but big volumes and they pay short term than prioritizing maybe in supermarkets, which may take long. So that minimizes his cash flow requirements, but can also receive orders instead of supply and wait for his money. So sometimes it may need shifting a bit of your business model or revenue model, just and priority in terms of the kind of customer you want to engage, especially when you are starting, to be able to minimize the requirement of resources, but also to de-risk your business from accumulating debt that it may not need at a particular point in time. However, when you are having adequate cash flows and probably cash is stuck somewhere and you need to do business, loans would make sense because you already have cash flows. Typically, loans make sense when you have cash flows or predefined cash flows that are coming through, or revenue that is coming in. But when it is unpredictable, it is not recommended. You'd rather find ways of using less risky capital, either from your savings, from family, friends, and fools, in brackets, or equity, if somebody believes in your idea, an angel investor, but try as much as possible to minimize risky capital when your cash flows are not adequate to accommodate the interest that may accumulate for you to fulfill the demands of the resource. I hope that answers you, Joy. Just to summarize, Daniel, I've picked a lot from today's session. I have understood that a vision without action is just but a dream, and it is good to have a goal which allows you to have a direction or a destination of where you're trying to go. I've also learned that actions with the targets and milestones are key, and these milestones need to be time bound. In other words, we need to have SMART goals, or specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound goals that help us and keep us focused on the goals that we want to achieve. I just want to encourage the entrepreneurs and all the participants of this session to embrace goal setting, and because the goals may be big, but step by step, as one says, you ascend the staircase, and it takes the right attitude to actually achieve your goals. You cannot set a big goal and you are negative about achieving that goal. So also your mind, your attitude, and persistence will get there. Consistency will keep you there. So I want to encourage all of us, let's keep sharing, let's keep on learning, and looking forward to the next session. Otherwise, thank you and have a blessed one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you, everyone, for being on the call. Have a blessed day. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Odek. Thank you, Olufunke. Oh, I have someone from the western side of Africa. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Eugene, for sharing the platform and the tools. Thank you, Fatina. Thank you, Sharon, for staying up to the end. Let's meet next time. God bless you.